Welcome to another episode of the Upside Journal podcast. I'm Naeem, and today we're tearing down the multi-million-dollar tech stacks deployed at Cannes Lions 2026 and why most of them are fundamentally broken. It's just an unbelievable paradox, right? I mean, these media companies are pouring literally millions into super sophisticated digital systems. But then, why does it all just completely fall apart? Well, the macro problem here is the handoff. You've got these incredible, flawless digital workflows happening in the cloud, but the absolute second their teams step off the plane in Nice for a massive event like Cannes, it's just a total operational failure. They are trying to force physical, chaotic, analog environments into digital workflows that, frankly, simply weren't built for the handshake economy. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Absolutely, and the stakes for getting this right, they are massive. We're looking at elite AI-augmented publishing systems that are currently commanding a 34% higher time on page compared to legacy setups. That right there is the performance gap we're talking about today. Think about it. If your tech stack is broken on the ground, your content velocity just tanks. You are leaving serious, tangible engagement on the table while your competitors pull way ahead. So how do we actually fix this? Today, we're building the ultimate event-native tech stack from the ground up in this explainer. We'll start with the broken media stack, move through the layers of content, audience intelligence, and event networking, and finally orchestrate it all in the Mach plus AI era. All right, part one, the broken media stack. We're looking at this massive clash between our highly tuned digital workflows and messy physical realities. Look, to survive this new era, just slapping a shiny new app onto old infrastructure, no way, that won't work. If you walk into a typical media war room at Cannes right now, you're gonna see these supposedly elite teams totally bogged down. They're managing manual Google Docs, endless chaotic WhatsApp threads, and using incredibly plug-in-heavy legacy software. The modern chief digital officer's philosophy has to rely on an intelligence-defined enterprise. Basically, survival requires a unified architecture where your data, your AI, and these physical events converge seamlessly into one intelligent network. Let's dive into Layer 1, Content and the CMS. This is all about generation, automation, and transparency. Okay, so this is the engine driving real-time content velocity. Picture this. On one side, you have an exhausted junior editor furiously hitting refresh on a clunky legacy WordPress site, manually tweaking headlines while the entire site lags. Sounds painful, right? On the other side, you have the elite tier. We're talking AI-augmented headless CMS platforms, things like ArcXP, Contentful, and Bloomberg's Jeeves. These are API-first engines. So while that WordPress editor is just waiting for a page to load, the headless CMS is automatically testing a dozen headlines, optimizing SEO tags in real time, and personalizing the feed based on live engagement signals. Honestly, it's a completely unfair fight. It really is. And how these elite systems are actually built is genuinely fascinating. It relies on what academia calls the CLAW architecture pipeline. That's content, LLM, automation, and workflow. The brilliant part here is that large language models aren't just acting as isolated little chatbots sitting off to the side. They are tightly integrated directly into the multi-step publishing workflow. The LLM actually reasons through the content, the automation engine schedules it, and the workflow orchestration publishes it across all platforms simultaneously. It is just a completely elegant, frictionless pipeline. But integrating AI into newsrooms triggers what we call the paradox of disclosure. Basically, how do you transparently tell your readers that an AI helped write or format an article without causing total cognitive fatigue? Elite CMS environments handle this so adaptively. Instead of burying these details in some obscure settings panel, they use a CMS disclosure builder. This presents clear, understandable labels like mostly AI written or edited by humans. Transparency is built directly into the user experience without totally overwhelming the reader. Okay, moving on to Layer 2, Audience Intelligence. This is where we move beyond demographic averages. Right, so Layer 1 gets the content out, but who's actually reading it? If you are still relying on static demographic form fields, you are completely flying blind. Static forms are dead. Modern intelligence relies on a triad. First, you've got social observed data, using tools like Pulsar to track real-time behavioral affinities. Second, survey panel data, like GWY, to validate those trends across different markets. And third, your first-party CDP, your customer data platform, which tracks your owned digital footprints. You really have to blend all three of these to move beyond broad, meaningless averages. And there is a massive strategic divide in how this intelligence is used to actually generate revenue. Massive newsrooms will use tools like Chartbeat and SparkToro to track broad overlap and trending keywords. They're optimizing purely for volume and social shares. But the elite lean strategy we're breaking down in this explainer focuses on lean graph intelligence, tracking just 200 key individuals. It's not about the noise, it's entirely about the signal. Who is actually moving deals? Who is shaping the narrative? Tracking the right 200 people is infinitely more valuable than tracking 2 million random clicks. Exactly. Which brings us to Layer 3, event networking, the missing link. So, you have your content engine, you know your audience perfectly, but the moment your team steps off the train in Cannes, the whole digital stack collapses into analog chaos. Legacy event apps try to solve this with embedding-based ranking, which is essentially just swipe matching based on profile similarity. But it completely fails because it's blind to intents. It knows two people are in media, sure, but not if they actually want or need to talk. The real breakthrough is LLM-driven goal extraction. A language model actually talks to attendees, extracts their true goals, and provides a written rationale for why two specific people should meet. By capturing actual conversational intent, this method yields a massive 35 to 40% reply rate. It's a real game changer. Which leads to this really incredible quote regarding ConcordeApp's deployment at the World Economic Forum. "We are no longer exchanging business cards, we are operationalizing trust."
Hit the nail on the head. It treats relationship intelligence not as some vague soft skill, but as structured, trackable, operational infrastructure.
Right. And by using these platforms, you bridge what's called the relationship attribution gap. You are basically turning the handshake economy into a data graph that feeds right back into your CRM. For sales teams, it means spotting which advertisers are actively taking meetings on the ground. For editorial, it's identifying which executives are clustering around specific topics before a panel even happens. And for partnerships, it's mapping out warm introduction paths in real time. It seamlessly connects field networking directly back to your digital pipelines. So how do we actually glue all of this together? Let's look at Layer 5, orchestrating the Mach Plus AI era. This is the modern CDO playbook. The role of the Chief Digital Officer has evolved so radically. Think about it. Back in 2012, they were basically just a web strategist trying to figure out mobile apps. Fast forward to 2021, they were navigating blockchain and API ecosystems. Today, the CDO is the master architect of the AI native enterprise. They're responsible for unifying every single layer of intelligence we just discussed. And their core playbook heavily relies on Mach Plus AI. That stands for microservices, API first, cloud native, and headless architectures, all augmented with AI-driven orchestration. This is literally the ultimate cure for legacy monolithic systems. Because it's API first and headless, a platform like ConcordeApp operating on the ground in Cannes can share a seamless, real-time data model with your Arc XP publishing system up in the cloud. It becomes one beautiful, fluid ecosystem. And hey, if you need the financial argument for why this all matters, the data absolutely speaks for itself. Orchestrating this tech stack properly yields a tangible 20 to 30% conversion lift. When your content, audience intelligence, and event relationships are all feeding into the exact same Mach Plus AI flywheel, your ability to capture and convert pipeline at a chaotic event just absolutely skyrockets. So we have the pieces, right? The API-first CMS, the audience graphs, the AI event networking, but who is actually going to successfully assemble the first truly event-native architecture? You know, it's the multi-million-dollar question. The legacy media giants definitely have the budget, but they're anchored down by years and years of monolithic tech debt. I actually think the leaner, modern digital publishers who adopt Mach Plus AI from the start are going to crack this integration first.
For sure. I completely agree. The companies that stop treating events as some analog vacation and start treating them as a pure extension of their digital stack, those are the ones who will dominate the next decade of media revenue.
So the next time you see a media team scrambling in the chaos of a major event, ask yourself, are they fighting the physical environment, or are they mastering it with a unified digital brain? If you want to stay ahead of the new tech economy, make sure to follow and subscribe to the Upside Journal podcast on your favorite platform, and go to theupsidejournal.com to sign up for our premium email briefings. See you next time.